welcome to my kitchen again. Okay, today I'm going to be making some chocolate fudge. That's what tempts me with anything, is the chocolate fudge. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So anyway, we're going to start out with 4 cups of sugar. Well, before I do that, I guess we're going to start over because I forgot. You take your saucepan and you butter the sides of it before you start cooking. Just a little bit of butter on it. I guess that helps keep the chocolate from clinging there completely. I don't know, but that's what we've always done. That's what we're going to do this time. So, okay, a little bit of butter in there on the sides of the pan. There. Now we'll see if we can't start this over. Get the butter off my hand. And then we're going to take our 4 cups of sugar. After we get that in the container and the saucepan, I'm going to move it over to the stove, and then I am going to add in a cup of butter, and it should be at room temperature. I had it setting out. I kind of cubed it up a little bit, and then we're going to add in carnation. That's what Grandma always used, so I guess that's what I'm going to always use, is our carnation cream, carnation evaporated milk. Now, you're supposed to use a 14.5-ounce can. Several years ago, that's what all the cans were. Today, they're only a 12-ounce. So you'll want to add to it, because 12 ounces is not going to be enough. But they've cut back on the size of the cans, I guess, because I sure couldn't find them. Then we're going to put this on the burner at a medium heat. Stir this all up, and we're going to let that all melt, our butter melt, and then bring our sugar and evaporated milk together. Get that all creamed in there real good. Grandma didn't always use carnation, but that's what she started using after she quit having her own milk. She had her own cow up until, I think she was 85, 84 or 85. And she started down in the basement. She lived alone after Paul died. And she started down in the basement with a load of clothes, and she fell and she broke her hip. So she had to have a total hip replacement done. And when that happened, she said she got rid of her cow because she was afraid it would kick her and knock her off the stool when she was milking and hurt her hip again. So from the fresh milk that she had and the fresh cream and butter, she went to store-bought. And that was hard for her because she had never done that before. So I'm using the same thing she used then at the end. It'll take a little while to get this all melted and dissolved together. You'll want to stir it pretty frequently. Make sure it doesn't stick. It's a lot of different chocolate chocolate fudge recipes out there, I'm sure. And I've tried several, but I always go back. I have two that I like, and I'm going to try to share both of them with you. And you're going to let this cook until it, you can form a soft ball with it in the water. I use water and ice. That's what Grandma used. That's what I've always used. So, or you can heat it with a thermometer to 336. Well, I messed that up. 236 temperature, and that'll work too. But we're going to go the old-fashioned way. Change things if it works. So if it works for you, you do it. And if they make a new way, you can try it, but it may not work as good. Then go back to your old way. Christmas is just around the corner, so we've got to get all these candies and cookies and breads made up. I've been baking and cooking and last week and a half, so I think I might be about finished. I always use a wooden spoon. It just seems to work better for me. But I use a wooden spoon in any of the candies that I make, especially my fudge or my caramels. I don't know if you can see, but by putting the butter there, the candy just kind of washes right off, and it's not clinging to the pan as bad as what it normally would do. Although someone in my family would always want it to cling, that way they can eat the extra that's in the pan. I said it never goes to waste, what's in the pan or on the spoon. But, okay, now that everything's dissolved together, and now it's starting to boil around the edges a little bit. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that together real quick there. And as it's cooking now, as you can see, it's bubbling because I'm wearing it. So you want to be real careful so you don't let it splatter on you. I said that when I was doing my caramels and turned around and let it splatter on my thumb, and aggravated me all night long. But I knew it was going to happen. Usually does. Sometimes I'm not as careful as I should be when I'm stirring. And then be sure, after you get it off the stove and your stove gets cool, be sure to wash it down real quick and real good, because that sugar just kind of lays there on that stove, and then when you turn the burner back on, it doesn't smell too good. And I forget to do that sometimes, so I hope you'll remember to do it. Because it's easier to wash off now than it is 3 or 4 hours from now. Or after you turn the burner back on. See how it'll kind of have a thickness to it. So I think we're good. I'm going to take it off from the stove now and turn the stove off. And then I'm going to add in 12 ounces of chocolate. You can use your favorite chocolate. You can use the wafers, which I'm using today. You can use the any of the chocolates that you prefer, your favorite. I like the little wafers. They're thin, they dissolve fast, and I like those. I use those in a lot of things that I do. I used to use them when I was decorating for weddings and had my wedding business. I used those in my chocolate fountain, and they worked real good. You're going to add in your vanilla flavoring, and then we're going to add some marshmallow cream in. Now I use the Kraft, that's what I've always used, and you're supposed to have 7 ounces of marshmallow cream. And my jar that I'm using out of, I've already been using some of it, so we're just hopefully going to guess real good at it and get the right amount. My little great-grandchildren were here the other day, and I had the pantry door open, and the little boy, he's not quite 2, he saw the bags of marshmallows, and oh my goodness, he had to have a marshmallow, but he wanted to go outside with it. I'm like, no, we're not roasting them, because my grandson built a beautiful fire pit and everything for the yard, and the kids just love roasting marshmallows and making s'mores. So that's what he thought he was going to get to go do, but Grandma busted that bubble. Okay, now we're going to attempt to get all of this stirred together. Oh, that smells so good. Try to get that as smooth as you can. I'm sure that I won't get every bit of the chips melted in it or all of the marshmallow cream completely dissolved, most likely, but we're going to get as much done as we can. Then we're going to add in some walnuts. This is optional. I'm going to put in about a cup of walnuts, chopped walnuts, in mine. Okay, all right. Then we're going to take our pan and I have my dish is lined. I wanted to try this. I've never tried it before. I've seen Greg do it, so I thought I'd try it. But okay, there we go. took in my pan, so I'm going to do me up a couple little Christmas gifts. I can do this and have this to put in someone's little bag for Christmas. These little cake cans, I've had them for years. I think I might have paid, when I bought them, it was after the holidays, so I think I might have paid 50 cents a piece for them at, I think it was Michael's or Hobby Lobby one. So, but this makes a nice little gift. Just fill it about half full there. But by putting the butter on the side of our pan, it helped get most of it out. But like I said, it won't go to waste. What's left in there. Now I'm going to set these aside for a while till they cool. And once everything gets cool, we'll come back and we'll cut them. And then we'll taste them. So, we'll be back in just a little bit, I hope. Okay, after you get your candy in your dish, you'll want to go back and, after it sets for about 2 or 3 minutes, and kind of score it across the top. And then that way, when you cut it all the way through, it'll be a lot easier and you won't break up as much of the top of it. And I'm doing mine in kind of small pieces because you can use a 9 by 12 pan, 9 by 13, and I used a smaller one. So my candy may be a little bit thicker than what it normally would be, but I wanted to, I knew I had enough to do one little pan like this, but I wanted to be able to do 2 of them. So I skipped a little bit there. Anyway, I just think these are cute little gifts. I like to make up a basket of stuff to take. Well, this time I need to make up a basket to take up to my cousin's. Her and her sister are living together now since her husband passed away. And neither one of them's health's that great. And they had their COVID shots and they came down with COVID anyway. So I want to make up something to take to them, so this will work. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back with my candy. Our chocolate fudge. I guess that does work good. I've seen Greg do that before, put the parchment paper in his dish. I've never tried it, but I'll use it again. That's a good idea. You don't have to dig it out. And then I have my 2 little ones that I made to give as gifts. So let's see what we have here. I scored it before I let it get cold. And I'm not sure if it's cold enough because it's not real cold right now, but it has set up. But you can see there's a piece missing. But my husband says it's very creamy. There. Oh my. Yes, very creamy. And you know what? I think those pieces are going to get cut a lot smaller. Might be something one of my grandsons would eat, but it's an awful, awful big piece of fudge. But it is so creamy. Oh my goodness. I love that. That piece isn't going to set up, so I'm going to have to lay it there and eat it because I just don't want it not to set up on the plate. Just don't look right. Yeah, do it in a 9 by 13 pan unless you're planning on doing little ones like that for gifts, because otherwise it's going to make it too thick. Now I'm giving some of it as gifts, so we'll just let it be that way. I'm going to lay that knife over out of the way and not cut the rest of it. There's a lot of chocolate on the knife, but trust me, it's not going to go to waste. Never does fudge go to waste at my house. Okay, there we are with our fudge. I hope you'll try it. Let me know what you think, because if you try it, you're gonna love it. So I hope everyone has a good week, and we'll be back with more recipes for Christmas, because it's right around the corner. And have a great week. Thank you bunches.